Hello everyone! In today's video, we'll be looking at episode 4 of What If Civilization Started Over. And before the video starts, I'm back. It's been a week since I've posted a video. I was going to do the Portuguese Empire, but decided just to do a Wicso. And yeah, let's begin with this video. And I think for this video, instead of looking at all these old countries like the red team, the orange team, pink team, Ukraine, we look at the new countries like Morocco, two France countries, and Somalia. So let's do that. But before we look at any of these countries, a major thing has happened. The UK has finally been discovered. And yeah, this a whole new island, or what would be country, has been discovered. It's been discovered very fast, as UK is a very good place to live. I mean, don't know about real life, but it's discovered very fast. But they do stop at Scotland, as it does get a bit too cold. But they will eventually discover Ireland, and the whole island is discovered. And a new country will settle Ireland. So welcome, dark greenish colour. Now I'm going to put their capital right over here, or maybe not there. Don't want to put it in Dublin, maybe here? No. Maybe, no, I'm actually struggling where to put these guys as capital. Dublin, I don't know if I want to put it in Dublin. Maybe about here. What? Yeah, this is harder than I thought. Maybe there will work. No, I'm just gonna put south of. I'm gonna put it south of Dublin. No, I'm just gonna put it in Dublin. Wasted a lot of time thinking of where to put some country's capital, but yeah, new Irish country. And I know I said I'm not gonna talk about the red team, but real quick, the red team will colonize. I don't know about colonize. They'll take over Cornwall. Yeah, that's all it. If it'll let me, something weird is happening. So they take over all of Cornwall. And yeah, this is what it looks like. But to this French country, they will also colonize, and they get this whole boot area in London. So England's coming pretty hot for colonization. But to this purple country, after the Red Team invasion, they're not doing so well, and a civil war will occur. So these whole, oh my days, I forgot to record. I don't know if I recorded this part, but civil war in the purple team occurred. France helped the civil war people, and we can now look at a peace treaty. So this is what the world now looks like. France got a lot of land. The civil war then got independence. And the purple team is left only to this bit of land. But moving from Europe, we can now go on to India. As this little Indian country here is on the rise, a lot of people are moving to this country because of how rich it is, and they will start expanding. Now, they're a pretty new country, they're not a really strong country, and yeah, a lot of other countries would probably want to take them over, as they have a lot of resources. So they're being pretty careful, but they do take all this land. And yeah, a lot of land is starting to be explored. Over to this purple country, I mean, they're a very chill country. Not a lot's really happened with them. They're pretty chill, but they will expand down to this lake over here, and they get a lot of money from this. And a lot of people are moving to this country because, I mean, there's no wars, there's no violence, and yeah, they're just doing nothing, and a lot of people are moving here. And yeah, over to this Turkmenistan country. Last episode I was calling it Tajikistan. and Tajikistan is over here, where the purple countries. So yeah, I don't know why this is Turkmenistan. But over to them, Iraq, sending them help. And with all that help, they get, they're going to expand. And they are a new country, but they expand this much. It's a great country though. They were made in episode 2, so they're not old, but they're also going to expand. It's Turkmenistan and this great country have horrible relations. And those relations only got worse when this grey country joined the pink and yellow alliance. And I now know how to do alliances and trade routes. So yeah, and major cities. So expect the videos to get a bit better. I don't know how much better, but a bit. And yeah, I don't know what to do. Never mind, I found what to do. That sounds a bit weird, not knowing what to do in my own episode. That's because I want to focus on the new countries, not the old countries, as they have most of the spotlight already. I was recording, what, over to this. You know what, I hope this recording's bad. I honestly do not know if I was recording when the Grey Team expanded. So, and I just found out I was recording while doing out. So, over here, Somalia will expand. I really hope this video isn't bad. I'm rusty because I only just got back from a week of not recording. So hopefully it's not too bad, and I'm talking very quiet. So yeah, I'm a bit rusty, and if this video is really bad, I'm just going to redo it. So there's a chance this video might not exist, or this recording, because no matter what, episode 4 this series has to come out. Oh yeah. I mean, over to Portugal. I mean, they can't do it. They're surrounded, so they can't do it. Over to Morocco. They can do stuff as one colour, as they will start expanding their land, mainly on the coast as it's more developed. But they will claim some of this land over here, as it could be valuable one day, but yeah, it's not today. But it could be valuable one day. And Morocco, all this land here, a bit more than I was maybe expecting. And they will start exploring new lands. They don't go far into the Sahara, but they go a lit they go a little bit into the Sahara Desert. And to be fair, it's not really surprising that they're really not trying to go into the Sahara. I mean, it is just sand, nothing more, nothing less. It's just sand. But they mainly focused on the coast as it's easier and better to explore, and they find these islands too. So Morocco is starting to find a lot of land, which is great, but they will stop expanding as they're they're getting a bit too far away from their mainland, and yeah, they're only a new country, so they will stop. But over here, explorations are very hot. All of a lot of the coast will be discovered, and yeah, a lot of the coast. They don't really dare to go into the mainland. They go a bit into the mainland of the Horn, as they'd rather stick to the coast. I don't blame them. The coast is just better. Look at that bike. And they explore a bit of the land over here, but once again, not too much. And yeah, this video is only going to be short. I don't want to do a long Wicso episode, as all of the episodes of Wicso have been long. Anyways, back over to Britain. They finally go up to Scotland and discover all of it. And yeah, I might redo this video as I really do not like it. Over to Denmark. They discover all this land here, which is great, as modern day Germany and the rest of Europe starting to be discovered. They go into Denmark and they're able to find all of Jutland, but They don't really dare to touch these islands. And over here, Ukraine will start exploring land. They explore all this, but eventually water is found. The Baltic Sea has been discovered. I mean, already has down here. Oopsie. And oopsie, they found this. But hello. Eventually, all this land will be discovered. Over in Scandinavia, more of Scandinavia will be discovered, but it is a little too cold, so they won't stop as it's too cold. And it is winter when they're doing this, so that's kind of why. Over in Ukraine, they will explore a bit more land, but they eventually just turn back because money. Yeah, Ukraine, not the richest of countries, one of the poorer ones. I mean, they're not the poorest, they're not top 5 poorest countries, but I mean, they're not the richest country. But I'm going to do power rankings, as I haven't done power rankings yet. So, yeah, get ready. Number 1 in the world is the red Italian team. This isn't really a surprise. I mean, they have all of Italy. And all this land over here, they have a bit of Africa, a bit of Britain. And yeah, I'm actually not going to write it down as it takes too long and I don't have much time. And yeah, I'm just gonna do. I'm just gonna say number 1 in the world. What is that? What just happened? The strongest country in the world is the red team. Number 2 is actually Egypt. They have a really strong army, a really big economy. They're the biggest economy in the world, but they're not as strong as the red team. Number 3 in the world is actually going to be Iraq. They're very strong and they have an alright economy. Yeah. Number 4, number 4 in the world is actually going to be Carthage over here. They've built up a lot, and if Rome versus Carthage ever happen, Carthaginians might have a shot at winning. Not a good shot, but a shot. Number 5 is the orange team. They've been here since episode 1 and they have a lot of land. Number 6 is Ukraine. They also have a lot of land and has been here since episode 1. Number 7 is Caucasia. They have a large population, a decent amount of land, and yeah, they're just a good little country. Number 8 is this French country here. They've had time to build up, and yeah, they would give Rome a good fight. Number 9 is Iberia. Iberia, they haven't done much, but they're strong. And number 10 is going to be the grey team over here. They've been here for a decent amount of time, and they've been able to build up. But now before I do whatever I'm going to do, the blue team is like number 11. Or no, I actually don't know. But the blue team would have been up there. They would have been like number 5, but they got invaded. Now, I'm going to do something interesting. I'm going to do trade routes. At this point, trade routes do exist, and I think it's time I add trade routes, as they already exist. So first, in the blue team is where they start. There is a big trade route going from the blue team capital over to the pink team capital, and this is a very important trade route as both of these countries are important countries. The blue team maybe not so much, but the pink team is very important. This trade route also spikes off and goes to Ukraine's capital. It's also a very important country. And it goes over into Crimea. As Crimea starting to get more cared for, it goes to Sevastopol. I don't know how to say it. From here, it doesn't link up with Iraq's capital, as no country wants it to, as they tax the hell out of this trade route, but goes along the Caspian Sea. Doesn't link up with Turkmenistan's capital, but it does link up with the Grey Team's capital. And the Grey Team is a big exporter at this point. From here, it goes into big population centres of the Red Team, goes into Greece, through the red team's former capital. It's one of the majorest cities in the world. And yeah, it goes up the Adriatic Sea. It goes into Italy and eventually into the red team's capital. And from here, there's another road and it leads down into Egypt through the Suez Canal, which hasn't been built yet, but leads into Egypt's capital. And yeah, these are the trade routes. There's a trade route being made that's going to link up with Iberia's capital, and it's going to look something like that. And there is plans to expand it into Africa. So this is what the trade route's goal is, to expand it into Africa. Now, this probably won't happen for a couple of episodes, as these countries aren't the most friendly with each other, but it could always happen. And this is what the trade routes really could be. And of course, thinking up with here. So, if the trade routes look something like this, the world would be a lot more economically stable. But most countries probably won't make the trade routes look something like this, as most countries hate each other a lot. Iraq and the yellow, grey and pink team hate each other, as well as Turkmenistan there on Iraq's side. So yeah, this might never happen, as these countries hate each other, and Iraq's already fuming that the trade route doesn't go to their capital. They wanted it to, but they're not going to. And Iraq's capital is in like Baghdad. So yeah, pretty important city. But yeah, the Iraq team is not happy with this. And Turkmenistan, the trade route does go close to their capital, but it doesn't go into their capital. And yeah, they're fuming, as all of their enemies, apart from the yellow team, have the trade route going through their capital. Pink team does, grey team does, and yeah. India and this lake country don't have trade routes, and actually a lot of the world doesn't have a trade route going through it, as most of the world, I don't know why they do, they just don't. And this is on a separate layer, so when I click this, the trade route comes on, and I would do provinces, major cities, but I don't want to sit here for ages doing provinces and having to redo them all. I mean, not redo them all, but add more. Major cities don't really exist at this point. So, yeah, over to Britain. There's 3 new countries forming, and they're going to be pretty, you're going to see them from somewhere. You're going to recognise them, and would you believe me if I said I'm starting to struggle with colours? How would this dark red do? How would it do? Well, it's not really red, but yeah, that can work. So anyways, our first country to form will be England. England takes up a majority of the British Isles, but next we see a puppet state by Ireland be set up, and no one really saw this coming. Ireland sets up this puppet state as they want an ally like Iraq, and what better place to put their capital in Cardiff, which is about right there. And the final country to set up will of course be Scotland. And now it's time to throw in these guys as capitals. England doesn't have London. London's about there. I mean, Scotland doesn't have Edinburgh, which is about right there. So where's England gonna put their capital? Gonna put it in York, which is about there. Scotland, where they're gonna put their capital? They're gonna put it, I don't know if there's a city here, but they put it right there. And yeah, this is the new Britain map. Ireland is probably the strongest country in this area. Apart from Rome and France, they're the strongest country on the islands. And then followed by England, then Scotland, then the Irish puppet state. The Irish puppet state's actually very weak. So yeah, these countries will definitely make an interesting future. Well, for one last thing in today's one last event today's video, we move over here to Kaliningrad, where is modernly, as we see yet another new country form. And these guys are going to put their capital right over here, where Lithuania's capital is in real life. Or at least I think that's where their capital is. I don't know, but that'll do it for today's episode. And I'm sorry if it's a bit bad. I mean, I didn't really have a plan for this episode, which sounds bad. You should have a plan for every episode. But I wanted to focus on the new countries, and I feel like I did rush things a little bit, like with all this coast being discovered and with this coast being discovered. So yeah, I do think I did rush things a little bit. I don't know if I did, but yeah, that'll do it for today's episode. Remember to like and subscribe, and bye everyone.